What's up, guys? Rob Kuhn here, and we're going to look at a hand between two of the biggest legends in the game, Phil Ivey and Tony G, in a $100,000 short deck. If you don't know what short deck is, this is basically the same thing as Hold'em. However, the rules are a little bit different. I won't explain too much, but basically you remove the 2 through 5s, flush beats, full house, whatever. Without any spoilers, let's go ahead and get in this hand because it's wild.
And
Right.
he may be the best version of himself he's ever been right now. I think that Phil is as hungry as he's ever been, and he's very sharp. He works out every day. He does yoga every single day. He meditates every day. He eats a very strict diet. You can see, he's very lean right now. He's lost a lot of fat, and he just is. It's amazing to see. He's the healthiest I've ever seen him. I've known him for a long time, and he is just so damn good.
I mean, I think short deck, also in terms of just from brief conversations with him, I think it's the game he likes playing at this point. Like it's the game he's feeling, and you can see that, I think, a little bit in his play in this game, even just since you've been in the booth.
A lot of finesse.
Super creative, and in a certain sense, he's kind of been right both times, even though he actually lost those pots. His feel was right. It's just the run out didn't really work out for him. But yeah,
he's getting a good price, and if the run out presents the right card, he's probably gonna do the thing. And if you watch, he's gonna try his best to dance around and avoid being all in. He wants to play pots against everyone. He wants to see flops, turns, and rivers. And
in short deck, you do a lot of limping, as we see the players do here. I'm not going to try to get into the theory behind it because it's pretty complicated, and honestly, it's not a game that I play that often, but I do understand a little bit of the theory behind it. With that said, we go 4 ways to the flop. Let's go and see what happens.
Do you think that he will shine on the later streets over, the new age guys who may know how to play ICM well or pre-flop well? I think if he gets you to the turn of the river, those guys are going to be scratching their head kind of a lot. And I think today's tournament, the 150K, where we start off 400 antes deep, he's going to be a nightmare.
sure, 100%. And this is something I've noticed and pointed out, is the difference in the play styles. There's a number of the players that have a pre-flop, very like shove or fold, fit or fold type style, or limp kind of fold or jam, and a lot of players that definitely like going post in a various number of ways, including, instead of jamming, just open raising size sometimes, as well as just the preference. And one of the things I feel like I've noticed is it seems like the guys who who are good playing post flop tend to be some of the best short deck players.
What a stack
it's like you're taking a big part out of the game if you just go, and even if you have a good fit or fold pre-flop strategy, I mean, you're missing a big part of the game and a big opportunity to kind of like steal pots and whatever.
Great fold by Seth here.
On the flop of King 7-6, Ivey takes the betting initiative and bets 75,000 into 3 different players, and I'm sure this is fine. He's Phil Ivey. He can do whatever he wants, and it's probably going to be correct. With that said, Tony G just flats the pocket 6s, and Steven Chidwick goes for the overcall with 1 player behind, drawing to the nuts. Let's see a turn.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But what I think you're seeing is people in a vacuum. See, if Seth peeled the King Jack of Diamonds here, he'd be in a lot of trouble. Now Tony just called the C bet, and this is a very safe card for Ivey's range, so he's going to keep barreling away for sure. And I'd say Tony will just call. Actually, he's just when they're this deep, I think that he's just going to be afraid of being oversetted.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
And you just give but 3 away, like so many draws.
Yeah, but you're in position on the other guy. Like the Jack is never going to improve Chidwick. Basically, sure, you can let Chidwick like float again with 9-8, but I just think that well, that's actually a very big bet from Ivey. So there is a chance Tony puts him in here.
Yeah, versus that size.
Yeah, because Chidwick's only got 835 back.
My intuition is Tony's going to raise. Just the way I've seen him play. Yeah. I just feel, that makes all the sense.
It's a good play. It's a good play. I think Ivey might fold here. I mean, you got to put the guy exactly on. This is a really tough spot because there's just a chance that Tony G called the flop with King X of spades and is just kind of like, whatever, man, I'm all in. Hopefully you fold. If you don't, I've got the best hand. But I can see Ivey making a fold here.
maybe it's reasonable to think Tony calls that hand quite a bit, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
but I mean, you're just chopping with value a ton, right? Like,
I mean, obviously, if Ivey, you know, ends up folding King Jack, then that would be a great way to play King X of Spades. But I don't know. Just having watched Tony play.
I mean, you Ace 9 of Spades, 9 8 of Spades,
yeah,
10 9 of Spades.
Yeah, certainly.
All of those Ace 8 of Spades, all those call the flop for one. You know, gut shots, you hit a gut shot 25% of the time by the river. You got a backdoor flush draw.
And Tony shoves those versus large.
Well, what I'm saying is Ivey's got top 2. If he calls here, you can't fault him for it. That's all I'm saying. If he makes a fold, I think it's incredible.
It would be a great fold.
I think it's a very, very, very hard fold to make.
And unfortunately for him, we know, I believe Seth folded the King Jack of Diamonds, right? So, I mean, he is pretty toasty if he calls here. It's half as much equity as you see.
After Phil bets, Tony G goes all in, and I'm not really sure what this is trying to accomplish that much. You're probably only going to get called by better unless you put Ivey specifically on a hand like King Jack. I guess you're maybe just trying to get equity denial from a hand like 8 9 of Spades or King X of Spades or something like that. But you crush those hands, so I don't know. Personally, I would just go for the call here if I was Tony G. But then again, I'm not a short deck expert. With that said, when Ivey's staring at you like this, you know he's definitely deep in the tank. Let's see what he does.
I mean, this guy, this is exactly what we're talking about. This isn't the situation we wanted to see him in because he's in the blender, but I think he's going to fold, which is outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous to fold here.
Yeah, I mean, I made the observation before. I mean, when Ivey's on, it is amazing how far he can go in tournaments consistently.
He's unbelievable.
So, and I mean, if he folds here, it'll be precisely because of folds like this.
Yep.
Right.
Whenever he was on his big heater in Cyprus, winning everything, I came up and I talked to him about it, and we were just talking about life in general, and he said something that really stuck with me where he said,
Tony.
there's good table talk, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I feel like you should give no reaction to Ivey. He's just too good.
Yeah, he said to me, "You got to
getting Tony to react a little here, right? I mean, Tony will give a little smile, this, and now, okay. Anyway, what do you say?
Talk. I said, talk to me, damn it.
Yeah, he was talking about winning and losing with grace, and talking about how much luck there just is involved in life and in poker. And I just thought it was a really cool thing to hear him say. You know, he was winning his second tournament of the week, and it was just him and I. There was no one around. He didn't have to be politically correct, and he just said, yeah, I mean, I'm running hot, and you know, you got to take it with grace. Sometimes you're the big loser, and some weeks you get a great week like this. And he's, like I said, he's just in a fantastic headspace. Scary guy to play against right now.
Just a side note, 93% of the viewers are not subbed to this channel, and what I heard was if you are subbed, you run 2x better in poker. Just saying.
Yeah, I've played with him some in the big mix game at the Aria. He didn't play the last time, but I've gone 3 times so far this year, and he played the first 2 in January and March. But yeah, he's back to feeling it with poker, right? I mean, he's playing a lot of poker now. Man, he is really does feel like he's
This was the more recent Triton, by the way.
Yeah, he's got one thing going for him. Tony doesn't play the most likely doesn't play the suited kings like King 7, King 6, Jack 7. So he never has to really worry about him shoving a worse 2-pair. I do think a great concern is the same hand. I mean, why wouldn't Tony just shove King Jack here sometimes? Like, Chidwick only had 800K back. It was, you got to think top, you know, maybe Ivey's betting aces, maybe he's betting ace king, and
you're starting to make
what a fold.
Yeah, you're starting to make some, I think, beyond whatever physical stuff, I think you do start to make some exploits where it's okay, to a pot size here, he's gonna have the sets, maybe the same hand, and maybe he actually still calls some of the combos.
Once again, we see Ivey make the correct decision. I mean, how many times is this guy going to go deep in the tank and then just make the hero call, the hero fold? Just, the guy is an absolute legend. Personally, my favorite of all time. Personally, who I think is the greatest of all time. Anyway, hopefully you guys like this different kind of video. Much love.
Baby,